So the point that I'm going to focus on now, and it was reflecting of what Jyotish said, is the principle, meditate before you serve. And the principle behind this is to get calm, to get centered. Frenetic activity is not service. Master said you should be calmly active and actively calm. I know here at the Expanding Light, our Karma Yoga program, they always start each day of service, and I expect it's true with the Seva Yoga program at the meditation retreat, but they started with a period of prayer, affirmation, reflecting on the teachings. But calm activity, you'll get so much more done than when you're running around frantically trying to, oh, I've got to do this and I've got to do that, and then all the little pieces fall between the cracks. But to approach whatever we're doing, even if you don't have time to meditate, just if you have something you're trying to accomplish, some area of service, take a few breaths. Just get centered, and then begin acting. And then you will, everything we've been talking about, then the right attitude is there, then the energy is there, then the feeling that God is the doer is there. And Master said, to the extent that, he said this in the chapter in Cosmic Consciousness, to the extent that I was, after that experience, whenever I would recall that deep interiorized state to mind, I would always be guided to the right activity in all things, even in the littlest detail. So to start from that place of calmness. Again, there was a wonderful story I'll share from my days at the meditation retreat. I worked in the kitchen in those days. I was one of the cooks. But on Thursdays at that time, everybody would be in silence and fast, everybody who lived there. So the kitchen was shut down, and certain people would drive into town and get supplies, groceries, because we didn't have, the kitchen was pretty empty. So it was a Thursday, and I was in silence and fasting, but I walked by, I came up to get something from the office, and Swami had just arrived with two people. They happened to be Jyotish and Seva. And he said, oh, we're going to have a meeting with the landowners in the area. They call it the Bald Mountain Association. And I've invited them all to lunch. And I said, but Swami, there is no lunch today. So he looked at me and said, oh, could you make lunch for about 20 people? I said, of course, Swamiji. But I knew there wasn't anything in the kitchen because it was all, they were getting supplies. So I went in. But when Swami asked you to do something, he gave you the power to do it too, just as that talk. And so I went into, it was really the most remarkable cooking experience I've ever had. There was exactly the amount I needed of everything and no more. So by the time I was done, there was nothing in the kitchen. But this beautiful meal turned out, and I just was very calm. And he said, oh, this was lovely, thank you very much. But it just, because I approached it not frenetically, but just calmly, what can we do here? And it all, even the little details, oh, maybe I'll add that to it because this is sort of not too much. And everything just turned out beautifully. And so to begin any project you take, this beautiful, magnificent temple of light in which we are enjoying, and again, we're talking about spreading the light, and this temple is an example of, a living example of that. And the people who designed it and built it are sitting here in the room with us. And they just said, and it's so beautifully, they said it never felt like we were doing this. We would meditate, and the ideas for the design and the construction, the ability to manifest it all, coming in a very telescoped way because we had the 50th anniversary celebration. They said it all just fell into place. But that's part of the beauty of this temple, is the consciousness with which it was built. Calmness, attunement, self-offering, and the feeling that God is the doer.